The women of Telangana have undoubtedly played a massive role in the Telangana formation. They've been part of the freedom struggle. But it's sad that they are not spoken about as much as the men who've struggled for this movement. In fact, I'm right here at the Martyrs Memorial here, the significance of it in honor of all those who've lost their lives during the Telangana formation struggle. But be sure that these women, even if they're in the shadows, are the ones who are fully responsible in shaping the society here in Telangana, which is super rooted to the Telugu culture, but yet so adapted to the fast world. In fact, they are thriving in almost every field of work. But ironically, 10 years after their freedom struggle, the women here say that they still want freedom. Freedom to step out with ease, not being judged, wanting to travel safely, want public transport, connectivity. These are the basic needs of the women here in Telangana. As much as I've traversed through the city here in Hyderabad, this is all I've grasped. Follow me with me, Nabila Jamal, in this special to find out what the women of Telangana really want. Women are the real deciding factor when it comes to elections. As much as the men may be in front of the cameras or leading the pack, it's ultimately the women's decision that really prevails. I have with me a bunch of empowered women here in Telangana, Hyderabad, who really have an opinion or two about what they might want from political parties. Whichever party may come to power. Anupama is a principal of an educational institution. Anupama, why don't you tell us the power of a woman when it comes to a family going and voting and which party they vote for?
We have 50% of our voters are women, but we don't see that representation either in the parties or in the voting segments also. Of late we are seeing that the more women are coming out to vote, but we want them to in even larger numbers to come and all the political parties to give, not just because some seat is reserved, but there should be more importance given to women in various departments.
Poor representation of women in public spaces. I think that's what results in many of the women issues being ignored. Vibha, what are you looking for?
I'm Vibha from College of Education, and I think that the education is the crux of development in any state, and I want the education to improve. There are a lot of vacancies in the government schools of Telangana, and I want all the vacancies to be filled in. And also I want vocationalization of education. Some skills need to be taught to the children so that they are self-sufficient.
Right, so I think in that case, teachers need to be taught those skills.
Definitely, we need to vocationalize education, especially in the government schools.
Lovely, fantastic. Ma'am.
Hi, I'm Geeta from Law College. I am voting for women's safety.
Yes. How safe is Telangana for women? I haven't really heard, stories of threat as such, as much as I would hear in many other
much of a threat, but we want it to become even more safer because we have so many of the IT techies who are traveling all over, the Twin Cities in the night.
Correct.
So we want our women in the state to be extremely safe, and we want women to be empowered, and we expect this government to take a lot more care of the women of our state.
And do you feel safe to go out? What time is your deadline? I mean, what time do you feel that, all right, I need to get back home now?
I feel at all times we are kind of safe. At least till 11, I think we are pretty good.
Okay.
But, even much later, we require our state to be safer. When the women are taken care of well, I think the rest is all great in our state.
Absolutely.
And we want more women judges in our state because I'm a, law person. We would like to see more women as judges of our state.
There is a belief, there's a conditioning among the, people in India or Telangana, I must say, that there is something great that a male is going to do. He is a superhero and a woman cannot shoulder those responsibilities. This is what we need them to come out of and give an opportunity to women. Give them a chance. Let them prove it, whether it is leadership, mid-level or low-level. I think all of them, as long as they are physically good, mentally good, can deliver all that a man can do.
So nice. That was so nice.
I think women are already empowered, if you ask me. You can.
I would certainly say this is a golden age for women, right?
Absolutely.
If you're doing something worthwhile, they say, "Wow, look at her, she's a working woman. You're glorified." If you aren't, it's normalized because that's what a woman is expected. She's looking after her family. What's wrong in that? So you're in this very sweet center spot, win-win situation. But I don't think women are going to settle for that. We
are multifaceted.
Yeah.
We can take care of the family. We can do our work. We take care of the children. I think we can do it all. We are far, far, far better than the men.
If there's one thing that you want to say to the government, what would that be? Whichever government of the day that comes to power.
Yeah, create facilities to empower more women.
Okay.
Safety, take care of the women of the state.
Yeah.
Equality in the pay.
Equality in pay.
Transport facilities exclusively for women so that they can come out of their houses.
Why will pink prevail this election, Ms. Vijay Lakshmi? Why do you think Telangana women will vote for the BRS?
Nabila, I should truly tell you, from a decade, what women were before and what women are today. As you see, take me as an example. I've come from US and not in politics at all. I was a US citizen, came back, and then I did my law here, law school. I went to law school. Then I really saw the struggle of the people in my basti. I live in Banjara Hills, but most of my area, they're all like slums. They're all slums. So I never saw a woman come out of their house in 10 years, last 10 years. Then when I came and started living here, and then after finishing, I saw a lot of domestic violence. This is always a male-dominated society.
It's a male-dominated world.
But it is changing, though. It is changing. I love to say this.
Yeah.
It is changing, especially when I see in slum. When I came first and what I see now is totally different.
Right.
People never
Why
came.
do you believe that change has happened? Do you believe that BRS
Education. No, not only BRS. Every scheme now, every scheme. I would really appreciate my CM K Chandrasekhar Rao, because every scheme today is whatever we are giving, BRS is giving, is on women's name. Talk about the houses, double-bedroom houses that we have built. It is on a women. The women's name. Then talk about our Kalyana, what we are giving, Kalyana Lakshmi, Shadi Mubarak. A girl getting married, the scheme, actually your bank account, it should be on a woman. And then you get a check for 1,16,000 today. Nobody ever in this entire nation has given Kalyana Lakshmi or Shadi Mubarak. So it's a proud moment for a girl when she's getting those things. Then again, we have another...
Congress says we are giving we are cash transfer to every head of women, family head of a woman.
Nabila, let me tell
Free
you.
bus travel.
People, when election comes, people say so many things. Every party talks about so many things. But from last decade, we've been giving it, actually giving it to the people.
Would you tell us a woman in Telangana? If someone has to see a woman in Telangana, through what lens will they view that woman? Empowered, intelligent, strong? How would you call a woman of Telangana today?
Sadly, because of the KCR's government here, the women in Telangana are totally neglected and very vulnerable. I say this because crimes against women in Telangana, the crime rate against women in Telangana stands at the #1 place in South India.
Right.
So, when you take a woman, she wants to be honored, of course, but protection is something that's basic. No woman would want to feel vulnerable.
You're saying women feel insecure in the state?
Very, very insecure, because when you just step out and see, there are so many liquor shops, so many belt shops everywhere. So liquor sales have gone up by 1.5 times more.
Okay.
Since KCR became the chief minister. There's absolutely no protection for women in Telangana. The crime rate against women is #1 in South India. Women are being abducted, women are being raped, women are being murdered, women are being abused, and there is no limit to that. Plus, KCR's government had promised interest-free loans to the women of Telangana. And my question to KCR is, where are they? When my father was the Chief Minister, the late Dr. YSR, he used to give loans at a very 3 or 4% interest rate, where women used to come up, take the loans and do, with it, use it for a small business or something. It helped them in some way. It gave them self-respect and it helped many to stand on their own feet. But nothing like that is happening now in Telangana. Women are totally ignored.
Well, when we speaking of BRS, of course, K Kavita, KCR's daughter and MLC herself, has championed for women's reservation in the parliament. At least she was really pushing for it, and she claims credit for the announcement that was made by the BJP, reservation for women in the parliament and elections going forward. There's no time period, but she claims credit for it. What would you say?
I would say all that was a gimmick to divert the attention of her liquor scam. She was being involved in a liquor scam. She was close to getting arrested, and that's when it dawned on her that she should fight for women. So why didn't she fight earlier is my question. And if she had the grit in her to fight for the women, then why isn't she fighting in her own party against her own father? Shouldn't she be doing something before the KCR's gate itself, before she goes to Delhi and fights for women's rights?
Campaigning, so aggressively, and your car and cavalcade was attacked. I remember I was anchoring, I was on air at that point, taking all the live updates, and I was shocked to see you, a woman really strong. You would refuse to budge from the car. You sat in the car. You welcomed the attack. Where does that confidence come from? And what does YS Sharmila want to do for the women of Telangana if you are in the position of power?
Well, my father raised me in such a way. He never ever said that I was inferior in any way. And he always encouraged me. He never made me feel that I should, I should respect someone or I should show some, regard just because, they are a male or something. Well, before what happened, before you said, you mentioned that my car was being towed away. I was sitting in the car while I was being towed away in the car. But before that, what happened was, while I was doing the Padayatra, I went on a Padayatra, 3,800 kilometers of Padayatra. And so there were these BRS gundas trying to, stop me from doing the Padayatra. So they actually, while I was still in the bus, so there was this bus where we had a lunch break and things like that. So the BRS goons actually set light to my bus. They set it to fire, and that's how it all started. It all escalated. And they set it to fire. They beat up people with rods and, threw stones at us and everything. And in spite of that, the police had not filed any cases against the BRS goons. So my only attempt that day was to bring that bus to Hyderabad, to Chief Minister's house, and exhibit that bus to him.
No, but how many women have that courage, right? So you showed that resolve, and I think you've set the right example, at least for women who want to fight in Telangana. Why did you not refuse to stand? I thought you were standing when you were supposed to be contesting what really happened there. I'm sure women of Telangana will be looking forward.
Exactly. I think all the people are looking forward to a change in the government in Telangana. Not just women, but all the people. The unemployed youth are, they're killing themselves. There are farmers, suicides. There are all kinds of things happening in Telangana. And it's very important that KCR does not come back to power.
Now, why didn't you stand though?
I didn't stand because, as it happens, that YSR was a congressman. My father was a congressman. And it happens that because I bear the legacy of YSR, the vote that I am going to pull away is going to be the, originally Congress's vote bank. So if I contest, our reports were saying that there are going to be 55 constituencies where I will cause huge damage to the Congress and 20 constituencies where I will actually help Congress lose. So there was this huge risk of KCR coming back to power if I split that anti-KCR vote bank. That's why I had to make this sacrifice.
So in every way, you don't want KCR to be back.
No, he should not come back to power because not only women, every section is being cheated by the KCR, and it's an extremely corrupt government.
So you're wholeheartedly supporting the Congress?
Yes, I am having to because I do not want KCR to come back to power.
Why didn't you merge with the Congress? Your party?
Well, that's a huge decision, and this is a young party, and I can't do this just for one election.
Representation of women in politics here in Telangana seems abysmal.
I don't think it's abysmal. I would say that, we are on our way.
Well, in BRS, they've barely given 7 women tickets.
Okay, in the BRS.
Oh, the Congress also hasn't done really well, but I see you campaigning, so it's a relief to know that women are in the forefront.
Yes, absolutely. As you can see in Congress, I can comment about Congress. We are out in full force. We are on our way to the top. As you know, the Telangana Congress is doing very well, both in rural as well as urban Telangana. But why I said it's we are on our way is because a lot of young women have joined us.
Yeah, I see lots of women who are camping with you.
Yes. So many of them are first-time voters. Many of them are old Congress workers. Women who have over a stretch of decades been with the Congress, been politically active, and have of course gone through their life, their professions, but yet remain Congress karyakartas. I have greatest respect for them, and they have joined us. I have in Sanat Nagar constituency, which I represent as a Congress candidate, I have gone to every house requesting young girls, mothers, wives, women who generally do not get out of the house to come and join the election fray.
But how do they resonate with you? What are the women's issues that you're raising here for women of Telangana?
No, of course we have a plethora of issues for which we have solutions in the Congress, and women specific manifestos, women specific agenda we have. But what's interesting, Nabila, is that I'll give you one example. So when in one of the events, the women were able to sit outside in chairs and wait for various events to happen, have discussions with various leaders, including when I came, they were able to have a cup of tea with me, discuss their problems, how they perceive, for instance, what the BRS government has been doing. It has been a kind of a revelation to get the women perspective on how bad the BRS government has been. That has been missing from the narrative. So women have been able to come out of their homes, or I would say that come out of their spaces and join the political discourse because there are women candidates in Congress. Now, I do not see this happening in any other party, which is why I said there is a difference between Congress and BRS.
BRS says that we've championed. K Kavita says I have fought for the women's reservation bill. So what are you saying? I'm all for the women of the state.
Well, I mean, she is of course the Chief Minister's daughter, and the Telangana people are used to hearing her one-sided story for the last several years. Every woman of Telangana knows that whatever this person says goes as the rule, but it's not necessary that it is the truth. The general arrogance of the BRS leaders, especially of the Chief Minister's family, is very well known across Telangana. So when they come out with election promises, as they have done soon after the Congress made these promises, they just copied those promises and came out with the promises. Nobody believes them. Nobody believes them. And first of all, women do not believe them, because whether it is Madam Kavita or others, a few others, there are not too many women in BRS, and their idea of women empowerment is giving saris on festivals, or just just giving just enough for the women to be their women around them to be slightly happy. That's all. It is not to empower. There is no emancipation on the horizon. It is just it's one of those gimmicks, if I may use the word. It is just that. Now, after 9 years of this, women understand this. Most importantly, everyone understands this. That's one of the reasons why you see a Congress wave in Telangana. This Congress wave, if you see historically, is a continuation of the Telangana movement. The ideas of
I know that Telangana movement had a lot of women who sacrificed for the Telangana movement, but we hardly see anyone in power or those who have been glorified. Only the men have found their position in the state, but women who fought for Telangana separate state seem to be in the shadows.
Absolutely.
A quick word on what the promises you'll make for women if Congress comes to power.
I just want to comment back on what you had just said, that why are the women who participated in the agitations, why are they not part of the political, the political landscape? It's primarily because there has been just one party which has been dominating the political landscape, and that's been the BRS. The Congress, on the other hand, has a lot of people who have participated in this Telangana agitation in the party fighting this election, including women. So that is on the Congress side, we are trying our best.
Right.
It's the BRS which has kept the women out, kept the men in. It is a Dorala party, as they say. It's a man's party, So yes, the promises. Most interesting promise is that of giving 2,500 rupees per woman, which is a very important thing. We all know, I mean, even the World Bank and all the agencies which work in development for decades and, developing countries have said that financial freedom, financial independence will improve the status of women.
Right.
And that's what we are trying to do.
Right.
That by giving them directly a kind of financial support, you are going to give them some agency over their own lives and their decisions. And that's one of the most critical promises. Of course, we have the gas cylinder for 500 rupees. Now the question is that the question which the women ask, and this is very critical because financial matters, people usually think that women do not get into it, but women ask this question, that where has been the 700 rupees extra which the Telangana government has been taking from us? Telangana women have been paying 1,200 rupees per cylinder, almost 1,200, 1,100 plus. So the question they ask is, if Congress is able to give 500 rupees in Karnataka per cylinder, why are we paying the 700 extra per each cylinder? And where has that money been going? So this is something which the women ask. The women also ask, what about the ration which they were supposed to be getting? Earlier times there were 9 items which were being given by the Congress party. Now they are getting just a handful of rice. That adds to their bills. So if you look at the financial budget, the budget of a household, it's the woman who's in charge, and that's one of the reasons why the condition of the Telangana government with its mounting debt, it's reflected in the woman's budget of the house. So it's the woman's budget, it's the woman's decision which is going to decide the verdict of this elections in Telangana.